It's the big day. It's the big day. Angels, demons, and spiritual tools. I can't believe we're here and it's out. You can get it on Audible, on Amazon, get it on Spotify, Apple. You could find it there. Have you guys listened? First thing I want to say, first and foremost, a little bit at a time. You can listen all day long. Take breaks, though. Half an hour at a time, because there's that much information there. And if you did listen to it and you're like, hey, I listened to all 7.5 hours, I would probably say you played all 7.5 hours. Go back and listen because there's that much information. And that information takes time to settle in. I mean, I can go back and listen and be like, oh my God, when you hear about the Romans, ancient Rome, and you hear about demons and you hear about angels. And then did you hear about the part? There's falling angels, how they play a role. Not fallen angels. That's another thing. There's falling angels and how those falling angels play a role. Anyway, I'm here to talk a little bit about this. Angels, Demons, and Spiritual Tools is out right now. And what you're going to find out when you start listening is you're going to start to find out how it plays in your life, how it affects your life. You're going to be able to start connecting the dots with certain things. Yeah. Yeah. You're going to be able to connect the dots. You didn't take breaks? Oh, no. Okay. I see a lot of people are blown away. Is it mind-blowing, that information from SOC? It's mind-numbing, mind-blowing. So I want to talk about a couple different things if you guys are open. The Colosseum part, it's terrible. Yeah, it's definitely terrible. It's evil and hideous and horrible. Absolutely. The Colosseum, the Roman Colosseum, oh yeah. If you guys just got in, I'm just waiting for you guys to come on too, some of you guys to come on here. So I want to read a little bit to you, maybe even try to play a clip. So I'll do that too in a little bit. Good to see you guys. Thanks for coming on. Talking about how this could be affecting people's lives. Did you get to the part of what is a demon? Did you guys get to that part yet? What is a demon? I mean, that information just blows my mind. It just does. So, okay, so let me see. Let me just look at some different stuff here. Okay, so this is interesting right here. So many people live in a bubble out there where the thought of darkness existing is only meant for the movies. They believe that when things happen to people in real life, you see it all the time, by the way, things happening to people in real life, they brought it upon themselves. How many people it's like, no, you brought that upon yourself. You did that. You created that. So a little girl that's crossing the street and gets run over by a car, so that little girl brought it upon themselves? Like, is that how it works? It just doesn't make any sense, right? Freak accidents, they brought it upon themselves? I mean, that's just one thing. What about all the other things too? For those who live with this kind of belief that you brought it upon yourself, maybe the worst they've experienced so far was a girlfriend or a boyfriend cheating on them. I mean, that's bad. Of course, that's bad. Or a mean coworker causing a problem. A lot of people, they quit their jobs. They change their work status, all of it because of that. Or a family member who they didn't get along with. While these things can still bring about grief and injury, people often don't equate these happenings with any form of darkness or even demonic involvement. They don't equate any of that to it at all. So when something terrible happens or somebody's betrayed so terribly, they're not equating like darkness being involved. They just don't connect the dots to that. This alone is, when you think about this, is mind-blowing. This information. To these people, the thought of demonic and fallen beings inherently involved in so many of the world's problems seems overreaching and not reality. So when you look at all the terrible things that happen on this planet, that's just good people doing terrible things just for no reason. There's no spiritual connection. There's no spiritual war. There's no spiritual involvement. Well, that's not true. There is spiritual involvement. There is a spiritual war. I've been saying that for decades. There is all of this. And darkness is involved with so much. And a lot of people experience it on their everyday life, in their everyday life. So if you guys came on here, I'm talking about angels, demons, and spiritual tools. It's out right now. So type in medical medium. Maybe the link right there is in the description. Link is in the bio. Or if you can't find it somewhere, just type in medical medium, angels, demons, and spiritual tools. So type that in on Amazon, Audible, type that in on Spotify, type that in on Apple. It's released today. I heard it was released like 3 o'clock this morning. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep. Not because of excitement about it being released. I was kind of worried about how people were going to digest this information, how they were going to take this information in, how they were going to receive this information. So that kept me up for a little bit. I mean, I was up like 4 a.m. saying, oh, wow, Spirit of Compassion, did we do the right thing? Did we do the right thing? Like the whole bit, you know? So that's what it looks like right there. I don't know if you can see that over there on IG. Can you see that? That's what it looks like, TikTok. Can't believe TikTok let me back. They banned me a while back and they let me back in. But who knows? They might re-ban me. So that's right there. They can just order it now. So there's some great stuff to talk about, you guys. I'm going to cover a little bit of it. I don't know how far you got into the audio. It's 7.5 hours. Take it a half an hour at a time. Cool Light Springs says, I love it. No doubt my family has a family demon or more. The family demon section inside this audio is just an awakening all on its own. So when you get to that part, whoa, I mean, you might be like, oh my God, this is unbelievable. You can have loved ones that you love and everything, and they can be affected by this lineage of family demons. And that is one of the most powerful, one of them anyway, most powerful points in this entire audio is that right there alone. The amount of turmoil people go through, the amount of turmoil they go through in their life with different family members and different things that have happened in the family, things that go back like generations. And it's still like a stain on their consciousness, their memory, their grandfather, great-grandfather, things that have happened in their lives. And you can kind of trace back and almost kind of like say, oh my God, I could see where a demon was involved. I can see where darkness was involved. Why else did this happen? Or, whoa, look at this. If we're not aware that demons are possibly involved in matters that affect our lives, or involved with other people who could be in our lives and how they react and treat others, that's interesting. How they treat others, how they react and treat others, or involved with freak accidents and bad luck. Oh, it's just bad luck. That's all it is. You got bad luck. That's all. That's not really what it is. Or involved with peer pressure. Do you think peer pressure is demonic? The amount of peer pressure that's out there, things that have happened. I mean, when you listen to this audio, checkmate. That's right. I see that right there. Checkmate. When you hear about that, Spirit of Compassion gave me all this information about chess. And one of the spiritual tools, which is checkmate. Wait till you look into that and see that. I've been dying to talk to you guys about this. And the whole peer pressure thing, when I was in the audio, and I was working with Spirit of Compassion on that and listening about peer pressure and how demonic peer pressure is, that it's not just the term demonic, on how demons are involved in peer pressure and how some of the most terrible things happen with peer pressure. People's lives are altered and changed forever, or they're just dead because of peer pressure, and demonic forces were involved. God, it's just unbelievable. I must admit, there is so much fear about what's going on the national stage. I wasn't looking forward to this audio. I felt like I couldn't handle more scary things, but truth empowers, so thank you. Wow. It's on IG. If we're not aware that demons are possibly involved in matters that affect our lives, or involved with other people who could be in our lives and how they react and treat others, or involved with freak accidents and bad luck, or involved with peer pressure, or involved with mental health and addiction and suicide, mental health and addiction and suicide. Do you think demons could be involved there in any one of those three? You gotta hear this audio. You guys have to hear this audio. A bunch of you guys might not even know that there's an audio. You gotta check it out, and you have to hear it. But at the same time, it's not for the faint of heart. And at the same time, just a little bit at a time. I mean, a half an hour at a time. Take a break. Take a little break as you go through. Or involved with the disturbing news stories we hear about serial killers, assault, and violence. So demons aren't involved in that? Or involved with the things going wrong on a world scale? There's a good chance we're going to blame the wrong thing. Now, I want to just hit that for a second. There's a really good chance we're going to blame the wrong thing if we don't understand the spiritual grid. And wait till you guys read about the grid or hear about the grid in the audio. Wait till you guys hear about that. Jess, good to finally the day came. Good to see you. So the whole thing with the grid, wait till you get to that part, is how, spiritual forces travel and how that works. That's mind-blowing all on its own. Just that part. Slavka says, thank you, Anthony. I just started listening. The audio. It is mind-blowing. It is a miracle. God bless you. God bless you too. There's a good chance we're going to blame the wrong thing if we don't understand what's happening in that spiritual realm, the spiritual grid, if we don't understand what's going on there. Or even possibly blame ourselves. And that's a really important factor to why it's critical to have this audio. It's so important. This information is so important. Now, you guys know I've been saying this for years, where we can't blame ourselves. That's how the system is set up. The darkness wants us to actually blame ourselves. The system is set up so we can blame ourselves. The health world is rigged so that we blame ourselves too. Like, we created it. We created our illness. We created our problems, right? That whole thing. Then what happens is anything that bad happens, like I manifested, like manifestation, that must be something I brought to myself. I created upon myself something bad that happened, right? All of it. That's why it's critical to have this information to protect yourself. This isn't just about, forefront, unique, unbelievable information about the spiritual realm, which it is. It isn't just about that. It's about how do we protect ourselves? Like, how do we protect ourselves? This is something that is so important to have in our lives. And believe me, I'm not going to get a medal for this, and I'm not going to get an award for this. Because when you put out this information, it's going to piss somebody off out there. Because you put this kind of truth out there, when you whistle blow on demons and you whistle blow in darkness and that world, the spiritual world and the physical one here, and you whistle blow that stuff. Yeah, no, it's really intense. There's a good chance we're going to blame the wrong thing or even possibly blame ourselves when crap happens. We could even wants us to go into a deep, dark rabbit hole. How far have you guys gotten into this audio? I just want to ask you guys a question. Like how far have you guys gotten into it? So I'm flipping around a little bit. I wanted to just run by you guys. Anyway, if you just got on here, it's out. Angels, Demons, and Spiritual Tools. Life of Light says, have family friends I know have a family demon, alcoholism, in all generations, and nearly every individual, ... Wondering if their demon clung to me as well after I became closer to them as an adult. The family derms, and that's another point, the derms. When you listen to this audio, you'll learn about the derms, the family tree derms. You'll learn about the derms. That's a big one all on its own. One of the first things you learn in this audio is demon is a word that came later. It's not even the real word or the real name of these entities. It's just amazing information. Monica right there says, I'm all in binging. Okay, just binging warning. Binging warning. Penny says it's addictive. It really is. It is. So I'm going to talk about the addictive and binging warnings. If you get through it really fast, you might get a log jam up here because there's that much information, because it's information that's never been exposed. Like no one's been exposed to this information. It's all brand new. It's from above. So that alone is really intense, because technically what happens is information that's out there, it's been circulating. The spiritual world gets circulated, meaning like spiritual to that, people doing this. This is so brand new. It's going to be intense. And it's going to be a shocker. So you have to kind of like pace yourself. And then look, if you get through it, go back, start again, start fresh, and start listening. This isn't the kind of audio where you listen to it once and you're like, okay, that's it. Because the tools are in there. It's critical information to understand. You want to become an expert. You know how I always say that with all the information that comes from SOC? You want to become your own expert? Yeah, you do. You want to become an expert on this in the spiritual world. You want to be a spiritual world expert with this information. And you're going to know information nobody knows out there. You're going to be an expert at it over time, but you have to study it and you have to learn it. So you have to listen to it again and again. You have to get it into your consciousness to protect yourself. You have to get it in and learn it. So important. I'm 2 hours in. I just saw that. That's just almost done with part 2. You're at Fallen Angels? Falling Angels. Whoa. That's intense. Only the first chapter. Can't wait to continue. Amazing. I'm reading comments, you guys. Yep. Just finished the first chapter. Wow. Yep. 2 hours. You're 2 hours in. 3 hours in. Whoa. Just an hour for you. You guys are cruising through it. It's intense. Are you guys taking breaks? Lissy says, Anthony, I'm 3 hours in trying to pace, but it's so good. Well, thank you. Thank you for pacing yourself, because that's important. It really is. And I'm trying to tell everybody it's really important. I'm saying this because it's addictive and you'll keep on going, right? But taking in what you've learned too, kind of digested, assimilated. This information is just so powerful. Now, here's something interesting right here, okay? So, I'm not here to convince anyone that demons exist. You hear the information, you learn it, you tell me. You can believe in demons, or you don't have to believe in demons at all. It's fine with me. Demons would prefer you don't believe in them. That's what they would prefer, because that's what works best for demons. So they can do more damage on your life, in your life, more damage to people you know, more damage to people around you, cause more problems on a world scale, cause more problems in every way possible. You not believing in demons, that's great for demons. It's actually really good for demons. That's the whole point. They would prefer you don't believe in them. They would rather have the experiences in someone's life that are not agreeable to be blamed on people. Blamed on you. Blamed on people. So you're blaming a person when both of you have been duped by a demon. Demons would love if the experiences you have that are not agreeable are blamed on people, happenstance, blamed on happenstance, freak accidents, instead of anybody thinking about the possibility that demons even exist. Oh, they don't exist. They don't exist. Demons don't exist. Don't even need to think they exist. Exactly. Don't worry. They're not affecting you on any level, or your family members, or anybody else in your life throughout the years. But yet, that's what they would love for you to believe. That's the thing is with this information, it's so powerful. So you become empowered, and now you're learning how to conquer darkness. It's just amazing. I marked just a couple little notes in here too, you know. The information in this audio is also not about superstition. This is interesting. There is such a thing as superstition. There is. Most people are superstitious. Do you guys agree? Most people are superstitious. That said, the information we are exploring here is not superstition. So when you go through this audio and you listen to the 7.5 hours, it's not superstition. That's not what this is. The information from above, when you hear it and you connect, if you guys just got here, check it out. Angels, Demons, and Spiritual Tools. It's out on Apple. It's an Audible. It's out on Apple. It's an audio. It's an Audible on Amazon. You can get it there. Just type in medical medium, angels, demons, and spiritual tools. You can get it, you can get it off of Spotify. And you may be already signed into all these things. This is just free then. Go listen to it free, the whole bit. Really, really incredible. While listening to this audio about demonic forces, don't get tangled up thinking that it's about being superstitious. Having to knock on wood after you say something you're concerned about is far different from the works that demons and fallen angels do on this planet. So knocking on wood is a lot different than what's happening in the spiritual world. The demonic forces, the dark forces, the fallen angels, the falling angels, and what's happening and what they're doing out there on a world scale too. So you can knock on wood all you want, It's not going to tap into what's going on around you or what's happening out there. This isn't superstition. So I'm just cutting through a couple of little notes I had. There's so much information in the 7.5 hours. Like I can't crack it all. Like right here, it's just impossible. I would have to be on here for probably 100 hours overtime to crack into it and to talk. Amber Shea over there on IG says, you have answered so many questions, AW. Wow. And that's the thing. When you get into this whole audio, you're going to be like, oh my God, like, I can't believe how many questions are being answered. It's a dream come true, really. Just hearing it from SOC, I was like getting answers to questions that I haven't even thought to ask. It was just coming together. She says over there at IG, it's validating. A lot of plus filling in gaps. Whoa. So I want to play for you this enlightenment section. This little bit, this little bit. So I'm going to play this.
What the term enlightenment means. It means enough goodness and consciousness and compassion when you're alive that it lightens your soul.
So I'm going to play this, okay, you guys? Get it right here. We're live, by the way.
No one realizes what the term enlightenment means. It means enough goodness and consciousness and compassion when you're alive that it lightens your soul so you rise when you die. So enlightenment is really a description of an elevating soul after you pass away. A soul that travels upward. The more enlightened that soul is, the more it gravitates upwards. The term enlightenment really means the soul is lightweight and not held down by the gravity of despair and darkness and despicable nature. The gravity of trickery and deceit, of constant betrayal. Enlightenment means spring up. Even if, as a living person, a soul experienced betrayals and battles with darkness, they could still rise up. When someone is not a good person, their soul bears that weight. It's not lightened. It's holding toxic baggage. Not the type of baggage of what's happened to the soul, the baggage of what that soul has become. True enlightenment is compassion and understanding someone's suffering. That makes the soul extremely light, so it springs upward fast. Sometimes with the help of angels possibly, versus the soul being weighted down. And if the soul is not springing up, not enough enlightenment is there. It's not being guided up on its own.
So I wanted to play that for you because that was one of my questions too. Like, what does enlightenment even mean? And it's so powerful, like the information that came through. And I'll just read it too. I wanted you to hear it so you know. So that was on, that is right there, the audio. Angels, Demons, and Spiritual Tools. And you could find it, like I said, Audible on Amazon right now, Spotify. You can get it off of Apple. You can find it there. But just get ready, prepare yourself. Maybe sit down, maybe get some lemon balm tea. Like I said many times in the past about anything that's intense, get some lemon balm tea. That would be really good. Fasten your seatbelts. For real. Definitely be sitting down when you hear this. For sure. Sitting down. No one realizes what the term enlightenment means, because that's one of the things that I got from SOC that just blew my mind. It means enough goodness and consciousness and compassion when you're alive. When you're alive. that spiritual movement talks about now, or, being enlightened in some way, having that enlightenment. It's entirely different. Bojana says, Lorelei says, who wrote the book audio? Spirit of Compassion's information from above on the messenger. I took the information and compassion when you're alive, soul, so you rise when you die. Enlightenment means having enough of that compassion in your lifetime now so that when you die, it allows your soul to spring up and rise. If your soul isn't springing up and rising, if it's not springing up and rising, the enlightenment's not there. We're having like tech problems, all kinds of funny stuff, but I think it's cleared up. And I want to say it again because it's that powerful. So I saw somebody with a question just now saying, "What do you mean?" So what's in the audio when you actually hear it, okay, and you listen, there's a part about enlightenment. It's really powerful, but it's important because it plays a role when we die, when we leave this place. I know that young people think they'll be here forever. I get that. I know young people who feel like indestructible, and they just feel like they'll probably be here forever. That feeling, when you're 18 years old or 19 years old or something. But time goes by quick. 100 years from now, we all leave. 150 years from now, we're all leaving. And when that time happens, enlightenment is critical. So check this out. I'll read this. No one realizes what the term enlightenment means. It means enough goodness and consciousness and compassion when you're alive that it lightens your soul so you rise when you die. So enlightenment is really a description of an elevating soul after you pass away. A soul that travels upward. That's what enlightenment truly means, Spirit of Compassion says. The more enlightened that soul is, your soul, the more it gravitates upwards. So you're not stuck here. So you don't stay here. So the more enlightened your soul is, the more it gravitates upwards. So you're not stuck here. The term enlightenment really means the soul is lightweight and not held down by the gravity of despair and darkness and despicable nature. The gravity of trickery and deceit, that bears weight on the soul and keeps the soul heavy and keeps the soul down. So after we die, our soul is weighted down with that deceit and that trickery. It's weighted down by that gravity of that despair. So you guys I'm seeing someone said, you're saying the audio is cutting out in YouTube. Go to Rumble if it's cutting out on YouTube. So make sure you go to Rumble. I'm live on Rumble right now. Rosanna says, demons are trying to stop this information and this live. I feel them here. Wouldn't doubt it. But they didn't stop me from putting out the audio. And I worked hard on that. And Spirit of Compassion did. And my publisher worked hard on it too. God bless them. And we got it out. And demons aren't going to like that information out there. Indeed. Fallen angels aren't going to like it. Dark forces aren't going to like it. Negative energy, negative entities aren't going to like it. So the term enlightenment really means the soul is lightweight and not held down by the gravity of despair and darkness and despicable nature, the gravity of trickery and deceit, of constant betrayal. Enlightenment means spring up. It means spring up. Even if, as a living person, a soul experienced betrayals and battles within darkness, they could still rise up. That doesn't stop them from rising up. When someone is not a good person, so that's different. When someone is not a good person, just think about that for a second. You're a good person. You're a good person. But when someone's not a good person, their soul bears that weight. It's not lightened. So when somebody's a bad person, a terrible person, cold-hearted, just a really bad person, their soul's going to bear that weight. They're not going to spring up. It's holding toxic baggage. Not the type of baggage of what happens or what happened to the soul, the baggage of what that soul has become. That's what it is. True enlightenment is compassion and understanding someone's suffering. That makes the soul extremely light so it springs upward fast, with the help of angels possibly, versus a soul being weighted down. That alone takes time to really understand and take that in. I know you guys get it, but there's a lot of people out there, you're going to have a hard time with that because they're so intense. There's so much there in that piece of scripture alone. And the thing is about this information from SOC, when we dive into it, and I talk about the medical books being scripture, like health scripture, and there's spiritual scripture in there too. This right here is a whole nother level of scripture. It's spiritual scripture for sure. It's from above. It's answers to questions that are mind-blowing, questions you may have had maybe your whole life, maybe questions you might have had recently. But there's a lot to take in here in the 7.5 hours. I know someone asked, who did this, audio? Who did this? Me, Anthony William. I'm the guy who did the audio. It's information from above. Take a listen. So many of you guys can listen for free, I'm pretty sure. If you're signed in already to Spotify or Amazon or Apple, and you can listen to this for free. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. How incredible is that? Basically, it's pretty much for free. So, and Spotify is only available in certain parts of the world, so maybe you don't get it in your part of the world, but maybe you get the other options. But yeah. But I would just go to Audible on Amazon or go to Apple. So I want you to hear this other part too, if you guys can, for a minute. I want to spend some time with you guys. So this part is, what is a demon? So
these traits are extremely self-centered, self-absorbed, selfish. Demons only care about themselves and any havoc they can wreak to obtain self-satisfaction. Demons have no compassion for others. They're anti-compassionate. No compassion toward life itself. Not even compassion toward animals. No compassion toward the sick or suffering. No sympathy, no empathy, no compassion. They're self-serving, or fallen angel serving only. Demons have these traits because these were the traits they had when they were humans.
So somebody say no sound. I think they were on YouTube. Go to Rumble. You can't hear me say that, I'm sure. But hopefully you try another platform. It's always fun to get schooled by SOC. All right. So this part here is really intense. So if you want to know, I'm Anthony William. This is Angels, Demons, and Spiritual Tools. It's out now. You can look for it. Type in medical medium, angels, demons, and spiritual tools. You can do that on, Audible, Apple. It's an original audio. Audible, Amazon, or Apple, or Spotify. Okay. What is a demon? A demon is what a human soul becomes after death, if that soul was completely engulfed by certain traits when they were a living person. So what I got from Spirit of Compassion, concrete, just solidified information, when I just said, what is a demon? And that information is people. People become demons. It's really sad. It's disturbing in a lot of ways. It's terrible. But humans become demons. So that's that piece of information that's really interesting. And they become demons after death if their soul was completely engulfed. And there you go. On YouTube Rumble. You guys? That's what it looks like. I'm seeing questions and I'm like, wait till you guys hear the audio. I'm seeing certain questions. I'm like, wait till you guys hear the audio. Yeah. Right. Then in their demon form, these traits stayed with them. So think about this. Okay. So humans become demons, and then in their demon form, their human traits stayed with them in the demon form. These traits stayed with them. Demons are extremely self-centered, self-absorbed. That's interesting. Self-centered, self-absorbed, selfish. Demons only care about themselves and any havoc they can wreak to obtain self-satisfaction. So humans who get self-satisfaction and doing some bad things have the potential to become demons when they leave here. But it's more than that, because there's more information than that. So when you hear that, there's nuances, there's details. You got to hear the audio for it all. So demons only care about themselves and any havoc they can wreak to obtain self-satisfaction. Demons have no compassion for others. No compassion whatsoever. They're anti-compassionate. No compassion toward life itself. Not even compassion toward animals. It's important to know. So when humans were in their human form, when humans were here, their soul was in their physical human form here, they had no compassion for animals. They became a demon later after death. No compassion toward the sick or suffering. No sympathy, no empathy, no compassion. They're self-serving or fallen angel serving only. So that's another thing all on its own. So in this audio, you're going to hear about fallen angels and falling angels too. There's two different things. There's falling angels and fallen angels. They are two different things. And then there's God's angels. So that's important to know. And in this audio, you're going to learn about all three of those. But a human being here, a terrible soul, a terrible person, can die that way, not grow, not move forward spiritually, die, become a demon. And I talk about the details on how that happens. It's really intense in the 7.5-hour audio. They become a demon, and then they're either self-serving for themselves as a demon, like a rogue demon, or they are working for fallen angels. I talk about it in detail. Demons have these traits because these were the traits they had when they were humans. A human soul is eligible to become a demon after death if that soul, while in a living, breathing human, was partaking in some disturbing and uncompassionate practices and enjoyed the harm or suffering within those practices. Did you guys hear that? Right now you're learning how a demon becomes a demon. You're learning what a demon is. Right now, from Spirit of Compassion's information. That's how mind-blowing this is. A human soul is eligible to become a demon after death if that soul, while in a living, breathing human, was partaking in some disturbing and uncompassionate practices and enjoyed the harm or suffering within those practices. That's just like a tiny bit of information compared to what's in this Audible on Amazon, or audio. You find it on Spotify. It blows my mind. It does. So I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of what's happening with the release of this. I was up early this morning. I couldn't sleep, primarily because I was partially worried. Because when you guys get this information, now, understand this information's really intense. So when it gets in there and it gets into your consciousness, you start becoming empowered, but you start seeing things. You start seeing things that sometimes we don't see and we're being affected by, but we don't realize it. I mean, this is powerful information. There's tools in here too. Wait till you get to the tools, how to protect yourself. Dosing at all that silly stuff of microdosing, but this is something to microdose. Little snippets at a time. Small dosages of this information. So anyway, check it out when you get a chance. Caroline says, "Hi, Anthony. I just started listening. Thank you for shedding the light and truth." Lisa says, "This thing is seriously amazing." Saint Sue says, "I'm so empowered just learning about the checkmate." Wait till you get to that part right there. I'm really, really happy you guys have this. Sharon says, "Oh yeah, it's packed. I'll have to listen lots of times. Every line is packed. Every line is a lot of information. Every paragraph is a lot of information. It's just really intense, you guys. I'm going to say it over and over again. And it's warranted. It really is. Me saying it over and over again is warranted. It truly is. Christy Moore says, "So much more going on than we could ever know." OMG, exclamation points. Emma Music says, "I can't stop, but I have to listen again." Lyra 144. "I listened the first 30 minutes. So mind-blowing. I am so grateful for this information. I saw you at the Cafe Gratitude event. Thanks for coming." Jen saying, "Listening to it now," over there on YouTube. Jeremy Kidder says, "This is such a great audiobook." Christina says, "I got to the first tool to disempower demons." I keep saying to myself, I will take a break, but then go straight back to it. I love it. It's amazing information. Thank you. Some over there on IG. Incredible, you guys. Alex says, "Anthony, I broke down today. Thank you for your sacrifice and providing this sacred information. You helped me get out of a dark place. And these audios brought more clarity." Wow. It's powerful. So you guys, when you get a chance, Sheila says, "Incredible how we get to know the truth. No more guessing games about the spiritual world." Did you get so the ether grid, the information based on that? Wait till you guys get to that part. Seriously. And you know what? If when you tell somebody else, "Hey, look, check this out, listen to this," give them, if you can you do that too? Can you give them the thing where just a little bit at a time? Okay. Can you tell them like half hour at a time, digest it, assimilate it, try not to binge all the way through. If you do, go back, start again, and just do a little at a time. The information is that powerful, unique, forefront. It's of the light. It's mind-blowing. The tools are there to help protect people. It's just an incredible thing. Well, all right, you guys. I'm going to go. And take 1 hour at a time. 1/2 hour at a time. I saw a couple of people binged it. The grid is mind-blowing. Anna, it really is. Truly. MeTube 787. MeTube, I saw you. Can't decide to keep listening or re-listen to previous part. That's true too. Like you can listen to a previous part. Seaweed Hero, good to see you on here. Amanda says, this audio makes me want to be a good person even more so now, because I don't want to become a demon. When you listen to this information, right, you'll see all the details in there and all the nuances. This information will definitely better any souls listening in so many ways, because it'll empower you. It'll give you strength. It'll answer questions. It'll protect you. This information is so important. And you can, when you look into this and you listen, and you'll see how many times you see people do this or that, and you're like, whoa, now I know what happened. It's that powerful, The most original, so Paula over on IG says, the most original, cutting-edge, mind-blowing audio. It is cutting edge, and it is original. And I'm honored you feel that way and see that. Truly, I'm honored. I really am. Over there, Blue Jay, I'm going to work much harder on enlightenment now that I know what it is. And that's the thing. Like, people say the word, but they don't know what it is. And asking Spirit of Compassion what enlightenment means and getting that information and that answer alone is just so incredible, really, when I think about it. I was blown off my seat with that information. Like, having that information. Everybody says enlightenment. What are they talking about? Somebody doing yoga on a rock somewhere out in the, wilderness or out in the desert, and they're enlightened? It's like when you ask the question and you learn what enlightenment really means, then you're just like, oh my God. And then it's about somebody being a good person, but why? Because that compassion and everything else, right? And you guys have, the most compassion out there. This book has helped me have more compassion for humans. Whoa. It's incredible. Layla over there, this audio is premium soul information. Whoa. That's a compliment. SOC hears. See, Lindy over there, I can now protect myself better in this world. I've been so naive. This information protects people. It does. Having this information helps, especially if there's a sense of being naive in some way because of the way this world is and so forth. It's nobody's fault. It just happens. But then when you learn about what's happening out there, then you're like, oh my God, I'm empowered. I know this information now. You guys, if you just got on here, so I saw a bunch more people come on. Check it out. Medical medium, angels, demons, and spiritual tools. This is it right here. See if you guys can see this. Rena, this was the most profound and mind-blowing spiritual information I ever heard. Thank you so much for sharing, AW. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. You guys, truly honored. Nadine, I'm so grateful for this audiobook. Just downloaded it. Thank you so much. Amazing. Wonder Woman, enlightenment, please hit the like button for AW. Yeah, I very rarely ask. You just helped me ask. Hit the like button. And remember what I always say? If you don't like the show, hit it anyway. Sharon McDonald says, can't wait to listen to the audio. I'm excited about you listening. I really am. Truly. BV Acaro, it's always great to get the truth, even if it hurts. Karen Churchill, will there be a spiritual book? Will there be a spiritual book number 2? That's your question. Kathy Lewis, where do I get the ebook? I'll show you right here what it looks like. Audible, Amazon, you can get it there. Spotify, you can get it there. Apple, you can get it there. Incredible. Okay, guys. I'm going to sign off. I can't wait for you guys to listen. You know, get a portion of it at a time. And just let it process. Let it process. I've already heard an hour, and it's amazing, powerful information. Whoa, over there on IG? Dairy? Okay, you guys. Love you much. I'm really happy about this. I'm happy about you getting the information to protect yourselves, and that's the whole point. So take a listen to those spiritual tools. Thank you. And over there in IG, let's see, Nemo says, thank you so much, AW. Truly appreciate you and the fact that you always paint a target on your back for us. God bless. Yeah, more so than people know. All right. I love you guys. Be good.